Hello, my name is Peter Blank. I'm the photography curator at Stanford Libraries and Special Collections, and I'm here to introduce you to some of my favorite recent books from Datz Press and to talk with you about how wonderful they are to use with student groups for photography classes, artist book classes, and so on. I found the quality of the Datz Press publications over the years to be exceptional and also to be very approachable by young artists. I would add that many of the students that I work with are not necessarily art majors. They are just as likely, if not more likely, to be computer science majors, electrical engineering majors, pre-med majors, and so on. And so for some of us who work daily in the arts, trying to wrap one's mind around what's possible in terms of personal creativity in a medium like the photo-based artist book is not readily transparent. And so publishers like Datz Press that produce such wonderful works, affordable works, that combine interesting book construction techniques, bodies of work, repeat publications by a variety of photographers, the inclusion of small limited edition prints, and so on, just make them an excellent press for an academic like Stanford to collect, and I commend their publications to you. Going to go through 6 or 7 books fairly quickly. Hopefully my little digital arrangement here will be sufficient to reveal the wonders of these publications. Their sensitivity and their degree of sort of special, subtle, and soft qualities almost require them to be held in the hand and appreciated in the flesh. But in lieu of that, this digital presentation will hopefully give you some idea of what they're like. This first book is by Alyssa Minahan. It's called Notes. You can see it's a fairly simple construction. And so one can easily remove the covers, which means they could be digitally printed separately in the studio by a student. String bound. And this first sheet is a printing on sort of a translucent paper, which you may or may not be able to pick up. But it's quite lovely, and it's when I said that these books are often sort of somewhat soft in their presentation. I mean that in the best sense of the word. There's a delicacy often to the materials is quite wonderful. So Notes by Alyssa Minahan. And she includes a number of lumen prints or solar photograms. You can see different types of paper are used in the printing. You can see the marks for the sheet film, which gives you an education point with students. I like this little book because it gives you a chance to ask the question, what is a picture? What constitutes a picture? With light-sensitive materials. There's your center sewing. A simple sheet of translucent paper. And then a gatefold on one side. And so already with this one simple book, we've gotten into some very unsimple book construction and therefore sequencing techniques. Another 2019 publication, A Better Home. A Better Home. And like all the Datz books, it's a little surprise package. In this case, literally, with this little sack enclosure. The artist is Min Kyung. It's a limited edition to 60 copies. Gives you a chance to talk about what limited edition means. With a little surprise print inside, with another loose sheet. And so it's an excellent way to illustrate to students how you can turn a book into a package in ways that we might not normally think of. And where do you stick your loose sheets, and does it matter if they wander around throughout the book? See, here you have a partial page, a partial page here, which turns this one image into sort of a strip image when you turn the page. Again, it's this simple execution of complex techniques can produce a very intriguing book. Minor Revelations by Alyssa Fujita Karoui. Slightly different construction. And so the book can become pulled out this way, or, as many of you know, you can simply use your finger and scroll through. In this case, the imagery is very much a series of minor revelations. Now we have a really lovely way to demonstrate how pictures are everywhere, and that it's the sequencing and the combination of these minor pictures that can begin to produce a narrative or a sense of place or experience, with the occasional inclusions of text. And as is often the case, a little present inside, a lovely signed and editioned print by the artist. At extremely affordable prices. Again, the idea of the book as part of an offering, as a gift. Notice the little touches of Datz Press on the edge of the box. This is Offerings by Mary Daniel Hobson. It's literally a box, a gift. Special edition, 26 of 50. It includes an original pigment print. This is also 2019. A book inside, a tray that can be removed, a translucent sheet, a feather, another little pull here that allows you to remove a print. that's protected. Now this sort of construction is obviously a little more complex, might be beyond the means of a student in a quarter system, but might be something that they could aspire to in, say, a semester system. This tray includes, this is a book of surprises. And of course, the book itself, which, like the first book we looked at, has covers that can be removed. In this case, there's no flap on the front. There is a flap on the back with a listing of what the works are in the book. And with this publication, as you carefully go through the book with your feather here, your feather responds to the turning of the pages, which is an interesting way for one to start thinking about how images build up upon us. And where they might go. I hope you can see why I enjoy teaching with these books so much. They're just fun. Fun to work with. One of the Datz Press artists is a wonderful photographer named Marchand. This is one of her earlier books called Night Garden. It includes a gorgeous print, which, again, is fascinating to behold in person, but is going to be very hard, I think, for you to see. It is literally a night shot of a garden in the evening, so it gives up its secrets not very willingly, but all I can tell you is that in person it's a really gorgeous, subtle print, as are the other images in the book. Here's the image that you would receive a print of. And as a book is just lovely to behold. As I mentioned earlier, one of the great things about Datz Press is they're continuing to work with not so much a stable of photographers, but you might call them friends of Datz Press. This is another of Amanda Marchand's books. This is her most recent one. It's in a box. Nothing will ever be the same again. Amanda Marchand, Datz Press. It's in a beautiful handcrafted box. Again, the container reveals the surprise within. Perfect book for the pandemic. The tray reveals the edition, which comes with a pigment or an archival pigment print. This is number 18 of 30. The print itself is carefully wrapped up in this beautiful translucent paper. And not only do you receive the print, but it's matted, so it's ready for framing, or you can leave it in the box. Quite nice. And then, of course, the book itself. You can see that there are going to be some gatefold pages. Again, the cover is removable. But it includes sort of a score for the book. Image, image. Three windows in an old schoolhouse, 4 if you count the camera as a window to January in Finland. So you get a sense of where the photographer is and what the book is going to be about. Once again, it's like, where do I go find pictures? You find pictures where you are. Nothing will ever be the same again. Simple juxtaposition of two images against white. Simple juxtaposition of facing pages of two images each. Expanded yet again. Reversed. Reversed again. So there's a beautiful rhythm to this book, which is immediately apparent in the very first few pages. And that would be enough for me to do a discussion with students about sequencing and book design right there. But it continues on in its increasingly complex, but actually quite simple manner, which is itself a longer fold out. And so you can see the sun over the course of the day. And the book continues in this vein. You get some beautiful full page shots as well. A simpler gatefold, which is literally morning to evening. And the last book I'm going to show you today is, I believe it's a 2017 publication for one of my favorite photographers, Barbara Bosworth, Fireflies. And I'm sure that some of you know what's coming. Yes, it's a scroll. This is number 24 in an edition of 50, signed by the artist. Fireflies, the meadow, the universe, Barbara Bosworth. I just want you to be able to see this is kind of like the Amanda Marchand Night Gardens book, Fireflies. And so the imagery occurs at dusk, when things are less visible, but perhaps in a sense more visible. But it makes viewing digitally and remotely somewhat difficult. And I suspect that we'll have some loss with transmission of the video as well, which is perhaps the perfect way to encourage you to get these books in your own hands and to enjoy them. Again, simple technique, beautiful showing of what one can do with a scroll book. I want to thank my good friend and occasional collaborator, Sang-Yan Ju, who's the publisher of Datz Press, for this opportunity to speak with you about Datz Press publications. As you can see, I'm a fan, and I think you will be too once you start to collect them. they're really quite wonderful books to teach with and to just enjoy on one's own. Thank you.